then I can say greetings again. And one of the aspects of Buddhist practice is discovering what we can take refuge in, go for refuge in, which means what we can rely on, what we can base our life on. And we know that people will often base their life on things which are not very reliable, things which come and go, things which are fragile, things which are not really even that healthy for themselves. And so the momentum, the movement, the direction of Buddhist practice is to find what is reliable that can be the basis of our life. And ultimately, it's to discover our capacity to be free, for the mind, for awareness to not cling to anything. And that absence of clinging is the ultimate kind of thing to really, turns out, what we find and discover is that can be depended on. And that is a protection, it's a support, it's a basis upon which a life can be lived. But in the meantime, we try in practice to rely on, take refuge in things which are provisionally dependable, which are supportive, which are part of the path. And so in meditation, the ideal is to find something in the present moment where awareness can rest that does feel like a provisional refuge for you. So the mind can settle, open up, become clear, and begin to shed its preoccupations with all the other things that we depend on that are not so reliable. Depending on anxiety, not that we do, but our thinking does perhaps. Depending on greed and desires, depending on resentments and regrets. That's what kind of often the activity of the mind can somehow depend on. But what is provisionally reliable? I often suggest the body, and within the body, breathing. That the rhythm of breathing is a way of protecting ourselves from running off with our thoughts, our emotions, getting so preoccupied. But for some people, other things are what are reliable when you first sit down. Some people find it's reliable to connect to their kindness and care, loving kindness, compassion, and connect to that first. Some people, it's perhaps the sense of open awareness. Awareness which almost doesn't do anything, but is clear and alert, receptive. Some people, it's to what's reliable is the mind's capacity to hear, listen, and open, receptive listening to sounds in the room or around you. That then we don't get caught up in our preoccupations. So I let each of you find it for yourself, but I will guide you now. And that is to close your eyes and take some maybe slightly deeper, longer breaths than usual, just slightly. And as you exhale, settle in, relax into your body, as if here in this body there is a refuge, there is safety. Here in this body there is wisdom and understanding. Exhaling and relaxing, letting go of almost like a snake that sheds its skin. Settle in and maybe imagine that you're shedding all the holding and tensions and preoccupations. Settling in as your snake sheds its skin it allows some new skin to grow as we shed our preoccupations, to allow for a deeper sensitivity of something tender that allows something new to appear. And then letting your breathing return to normal. And the breathing can be a refuge, especially if we're able to hang in there with a series of breaths in a row. And that's a refuge because the more we can hang out with the breath, the less we hang out with preoccupations, fears and clingings and fantasy. The more we can hang out with breathing, the natural physiological regulatory process of breathing can begin to soothe and settle the nervous system and the muscular system and all kinds of things. Regular, relaxed, easeful breathing can be a healing process. So to notice how your body experiences breathing, perhaps without any ideas or expectations of any special way to breathe or anything that's supposed to happen when you breathe. To be very simple, allowing of the breathing, trusting breathing, in trusting yourself to your breathing more than you trust your thinking. For these few minutes, as you exhale, remember to notice if you're caught in thoughts. As you exhale, let them go and return to sustaining the attention on the rhythm of breathing, as if the rhythm of inhale and exhale is a massage. The massage that cares for your inner life, cares for your body. As if the breathing, the sensations of breathing, is a gentle way to touch yourself from the inside, to be touched with a warm, kind pressure and sensations and movements of breathing. Breathing can be a refuge. If you entrust yourself to the simplicity of breathing, and whenever you wander off in thought, with your faith, with your trust, begin again with your breathing. Being happy, always happy that you can begin again, connecting to your breathing. what would it be like to trust your breathing? That for now, these minutes, the breathing is the place that you can trust the most. The kind of trust where the mind can rest, the heart can settle all its troubles. The place where there's a context or a support for being whatever that's troublesome, troubling. To breathe with it, to breathe easily as a foundation that allows us to not get preoccupied with troubles, but breathe with them, breathe through them, knowing that there's something dependable, so we don't have to get preoccupied. And then as we come to the end of this sitting, our ability to care for families and friends, neighbors, community, the world, looks very different when that care arises out of a deep trust within, a settledness, a trusting being calm or settled, or perhaps trusting not being preoccupied, obsessing about things, no longer trusting our anger, our greed, our hostility, our lust, no longer trusting, craving, trusting anxiety, trusting conceit. And to discover this place where all those things, the trusting of them have fallen away, and we trust something deep inside. That then our care for the world comes from someplace trustable, someplace inspiring. And may we discover, may we take the time to make room for, make time for a wellspring within, to touch into sources within us where our care and well-wishing for the world come from a reliable place, come from a place that's healing or supportive or nourishing for ourselves and for others. But let us take the time to keep returning to such a place. Let us be as interested in caring for the world as we are that care arises from some place that's a refuge, a support, so that these two things go together, that we find a refuge within and we become a refuge for the world. May it be in this day that we support and care for this world and for others. May it be that for this day that we go to sleep knowing that in some maybe very small way we have made the world a better place for someone else. May all beings be happy.